Welcome to the Dome Discussions Podcast. Your top source for all things New Orleans Saints. Powered by four voices who live and breathe black and gold. Touchdown! Every hit, every play.
Welcome to the NFL.
Every moment. We've got it covered.
Let's go! Let's go! Go!
What's going on, Who Dat Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the Dome Discussions Podcast. Today, I am joined by Kyle Bisson, Drew Collins, and Caleb Yacarino. And today, we get to talk about a Saints victory. The Saints played probably their best game of the season against the Buccaneers on the road. And there was a lot of positives to take away from that game. And one big one in Tyler Shough, which we will definitely dive into later on. But first, we want to start with the injury report for this week. There hasn't been an official list yet that has came out, but this is what we know that the players are dealing with. Asim Richards, who filled in for Taliesin Fuaga at right tackle, did exit the game with a high ankle sprain, and it sounds like he will miss some time. William Sherman did take over for him, and he'll likely be the guy again if Taliesin Fuaga is not returned yet from his ankle injury. Justin Reed and Alvin Kamara are still recovering from their knee injuries, and we are still monitoring Chris Olave's back spasms. He played once again. It came down to the last day, right before the game, until we found out if he was going to play or not. Hopefully that's not the case again this week, and hopefully he's able to get a full week of practice in. But that's really it on the injury front. I'll kind of let you guys steer this. I know we're going to talk about Tyler Shough, so we might as well get it out of the way now. What were your guys' thoughts on Tyler Shough's performance on Sunday?
I'll start us off just because, look, so he's now shown you he can beat you with his arm. He beat the Panthers with his arm. He's shown the ability, and now he's shown you the ability to win games with his legs as well. So he's won games with his arms. He's won games with his legs. Look, I don't want this to go, and I'm not out here yelling Tyler Shough is quarterback one of the future. Well, maybe I am, okay? All I know is I haven't put any takes out there. Every time I put a take out there, it's very lukewarm, right? I like to not have anyone go back and be like, look how wrong you were. So I feel like I should put a bold take out there now that look, it's been 5 games. I've seen it from Tyler Shough. I think he gets another contract with the Saints. I don't think the Saints have to look towards getting anything else for Tyler Shough, right? Well, any other quarterback other than Tyler Shough right now. I've seen it from him. I've seen it with his legs. I've seen it with his arm, the ability, the arm strength, and the arm talent to make that throw that he did to the Von Vele against the Dolphins for the touchdown, off platform, straight arm talent, and not able to follow through. Again, it's just arm talent that was able to put that ball there, and he threw him open. It was accuracy things. He's got everything that I needed to see from Tyler Shough to be like, yes, this is the guy you build around for next year. I would like to see more next year, obviously, when he's got a more polished roster. But Devon Vele's breakout has been real nice. He's someone that he can target. Juwan Johnson has been sneaky consistent throughout the year. And Chris Olave and him look like they have a great connection. You saw after his rushing touchdown, they got the handshake when he got the game ball. They got the handshake. Now, players always have handshakes. Like there's like 30 of them per team for player, right? But it's just a lot of chemistry going on, and these guys are rallying behind Tyler Shough. Tyler Shough is winning games. He's winning them multiple ways, and you're winning because Tyler Shough's playing well. So to me, that's showing enough to go ahead. And when you go into the draft next season, you don't need to pick. First of all, you're probably going to win a couple more games to end the season, so you're not going to be in a good position for a quarterback either way. But and to me, that's a good thing. Tyler Shough, earn yourself the right to not be replaced by make it impossible.
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement. One of the things that I really liked seeing from Tyler Shough, at least yesterday, but it's happened all season, is third downs and kind of just looking throughout the whole field. Starting on third downs, there were so many times where any other part of the season where Spencer Rattler was quarterback, we'd have been like, oh, it's 3rd and 8. We're probably going to punt here. Like the Saints are going to probably punt here, or it's going to be 4th and 5, and maybe there's a chance of going for it, but it's not going to happen. Instead, with Tyler Shough, it was like, oh, Saints actually might convert this almost every time. And they were really good on third downs. And Tyler Shough, I think, I don't have stat in front of me, was I think 5th in converted third downs and 4th downs on the week. So it's a clear improvement. you can see that Tyler Shough is elevating the offense in both wins. It feels like the Saints have, yes, the defense is playing great also, which we'll probably get to, but we've seen when Dennis Allen was here, what can happen when this defense plays amazing, the offense doesn't, and the Saints still lose. That's not really happening with Tyler Shough. It feels like that he's overcoming all the obstacles, the completely depleted offensive line, some bad play calls, a wide receiver room that has completely changed from what it was at the beginning of the season. And he's overcoming them and he's elevating the offense, which is everything you want to see from a quarterback. It kind of feels like right now, Shough is at that like one level above a system quarterback. He's not elite. He's not in that, like, he's not showing like, oh, he could be a Drake May, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, like elite quarterback, but he is right there, closer to Justin Herbert, where it's like, okay, he can elevate everyone around him, make the plays that are needed in a good system. He may still lose games in a bad team, but he can also win a lot of games.
I agree with what both of you have been saying. And to me, this whole season, not just a few games, is kind of like a test run. It's a trial period for Tyler Shough, just to see if the Saints can trust him, at least at the start of next season. And I think he's passed with flying colors so far. Obviously, there's still a lot of time left in the season. But as of now, he has 100% shown he deserves to be at the starter next year. And that gives the Saints so much flexibility during the offseason. I'm not going to be rambling on about that now. Undoubtedly, we'll get into that a lot in the coming weeks, especially after the season gets over. But this year's the trial period. Next year's the test. Next year is going to be the one where Tyler Shough, whole season of preparation, whole offseason to give chemistry with the team. That's where it's going to be. Can you guide this team and lead them? And the Saints can make. Kyle made the bold take. Tyler Shough's getting another contract with the Saints. That'll be proven in a large part next year. I think that's going to be a huge test for him. But we've seen a lot out of Tyler Shough, and I feel like we've seen him improve weekly. It's been certain areas that, especially under pressure, I feel like going into college, he struggled so much, but he hasn't been perfect by any means, but he's really looked better at that, and I think that's a great sign for the Saints.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the most important things is both of his wins are against the top two teams in the division on the road. And the weather conditions in Tampa Bay were awful. It was a monsoon out there. So to see him play like that and outplay Baker Mayfield, who was an early MVP candidate, is very encouraging. Look, his 55-yard rushing touchdown set a franchise record for the longest no, that was the 34-yard rushing touchdown. It was the longest rushing touchdown by a quarterback not named Taysom Hill, and the 55 yards rushing set a franchise record by a rookie quarterback. I agree with you guys. His performances as of late has only strengthened my belief that the Saints don't need to draft a quarterback in this upcoming draft. I'm very confident in building around him through the draft with offensive pieces. Go get him a receiver that can fit next to Chris Olave and Devon Vele. One of the biggest concerns, like you said, Drew, coming out of college was his ability to handle pressure and his pocket presence, but that's been his strength so far. And like you said, Caleb, the third down conversions, that's big time plays, big time moments. Something that was a major concern for New Orleans not too long ago. Regarding what you were saying, Kyle, about him and Chris Olave's connection, we have seen two miscommunications the past 2 weeks that have led to interceptions. But something really important to me is how Tyler Shough handled that in the post-game press conference. Took full accountability for it and just gave credit to Chris Olave for his effort throughout the game. That's not something that we would see with a guy like Derek Carr in the building, for instance. But yeah, I think this has only made me more confident in the fact that the Saints don't draft a quarterback in this upcoming draft. And something I said, I believe it was on the Jordy Holtberg show this morning, is that if you are not missing out on a top 5 pick because you have an answer at quarterback, I see that as more of a positive than a negative. If the reason you're not picking in the top 5 is because you finally have a guy that can win you games at the quarterback position, I'd take that in a heartbeat over a top 5 pick. So I think it's playing out in the Saints' favor. I look forward to seeing him continue to develop. And obviously that chemistry with Devon Vele is something that's really been building as of late. Those third down conversions, Devon Bailey always seems to be the guy in the right position. Keith Williams actually spoke on Devon Bailey, saying that he's not only met expectations since arriving in New Orleans, but he's exceeded them. He said he's a workaholic, a student of the game, and he's a sponge for technique and skill development. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how much this Saints passing game can develop over this offseason, and especially if the Saints can add a pass catcher in the draft. It could be really exciting. The Saints could have a really exciting air attack next season.
And
Yeah,
I I'm sorry, I want to add something that Drew said earlier because he brought up this year is the trial period. You know, you learn next year's the test period, and then the year after that is when he'll be in his third year, and when you think you can win because you now have the rookie quarterback not a rookie, you have a quarterback on a rookie contract who's playing pretty well if he passes the trial period. And it kind of goes on to something that I've said over and over and over again because maybe I look too much into it, but Juwan Johnson's contract was a 3-year contract. Chase Young's contract was a 3-year contract, right? I think the Saints looked at this. They saw that, they understood this, is you're going to give Tyler – we all knew Tyler Shough was going to take over. You're going to see what you have in him, and then next year he's going to start. That's when he's going to really develop. He's developing this year, but next year is when you're expecting him to take a bigger step up. Look at Caleb Williams this year. Drake May probably not going to take – well, you know what? I'm not even going to say probably not going to take that step. We don't know, right? But those guys are competing for the Super Bowl practically at this point. Both of them have led their conference records. They've been at the top of their conference, things like that. So maybe you don't get that from Tyler Shough, but you're going to hopefully see a more improved player who's really elevating his team. And now you're fighting for potentially the division. And then in year 3, when you have all these guys on expiring contract, I mean, there's no other than Super Bowl time. I mean, that's one way I can say that's when you're going to compete because then you're going to eventually have to pay Tyler Shough. So I think the Saints saw that as well, or thinking that as they sign these guys to these 3-year contracts, try to get these guys as cheap as you can, or try to get them and pay them while you have a guy on a rookie contract and go compete then. So, I mean, that makes me really excited for what we see next season and the year later, because clearly this team believes that Tyler Shough can be that, and he is now proving that he could be that.
yeah. Going off that, when I went coming into the season, when I was talking about that 3-year plan or the 2-year plan of the quarterbacks of what the Saints can do, it was always go with Spencer. When they announced Spencer Rattler as the starter, go with Spencer Rattler to start the season. If it doesn't work out, you go to Tyler Shough. He does whatever he does, no matter what. Even if it's horrible, you reconsider. But guess what? It's not. Then you go to next season. It's that, as we've been talking about, the trial period. You let him have his whole season while building that team around him. Guess what? He doesn't work out. 2027 draft. Like it's a very good scenario. And like right now, Tyler Shough's not showing any sign that won't work in 2026. And that's the best part. There is nothing that we can point to say, oh, it's not the Saints won't improve in 2026. Like if they have the good players stay, improve the roster in the offseason, have Tyler Shough develop again, which he's already been developing, there is quite literally zero chance of them not, well, I'm not going to say zero, obviously, but there's a very, very, very low chance of them not improving in 2026. So it's the perfect opportunity to see what Tyler Shough does.
I mean, Caleb said it perfectly. There's kind of misconception about this quarterback class in 2026 and that it's bad, which it isn't, but it just gives you the Saints so much area to improve. You can go defense. You can get a Ruben Bain, an Arvil Reese, someone like that to improve defensively. Caleb Downs is one we haven't talked about much, but who's a real possibility. Or offensively, you can go with Jordan Tyson, Denzel Boston. You can go someone like that to improve. And then if Tyler Shough doesn't work out next year when you have a better roster more suited for him, then you could go in what could be a loaded 2027 or this is too far down the line, but even 2028 draft class where you could find someone. So there's just no need for the Saints to hurry into this. They have a lot of time to fully evaluate Shough. Do I think the Saints will draft a quarterback? Not early, but you can't tell me Diego Pavia isn't a Mickey Loomis kind of guy. Mickey Loomis is going to watch that film and say, oh, that's a tight end right there. That's a perfect Taysom Hill replacement. So I could see the Saints doing that, but I do not think they will even consider drafting a quarterback to start in 2026.
And I think it's worth noting that the Saints had a first-round grade on Tyler Shough. So according to them, they have their first-round pick at quarterback. Among 5 rookie QBs with at least 100 dropbacks this season, Shough ranks first in completion percentage, third in yards per attempt, second in average depth of target, first in adjusted completion percentage, second in time to throw, and second in passer rating. So he has just blown his expectations out of the water since taking over. But I want to transition into one more offensive player and
Wait.
guy.
Can I say one more thing? That got me to think about something you said, and that the Tyler Shough expectations going into the year, I think were extremely skewed
Yeah,
because in the draft process, no one thought of Shough as a first round, second round, even third round quarterback. But a lot of people at the Senior Bowl, he shined
yep.
through all the pre-draft process, the combine. He had an amazing day. So when the Saints selected him in the second round over a big name like Shedeur Sanders or someone like that who got talked about so much, it kind of created a conception in people's minds that, wow, they reached on this. He's not a great quarterback and all that. And plus the one clip of him throwing an interception, I believe it was against Notre Dame, was the only clip being shown last year. So I think it kind of benefited Shough in the end that the expectations around him were a lot lower and that allowed him to sit on the bench. I think the Saints drafted Shedeur Sanders, they wouldn't have had any chance to sit him on the bench because people would have wanted that. But I think that really helped Shough's development and kind of managed expectations for him.
Yep, I agree. I do want to talk about your guy real quick, Drew. Devin Neal showed a lot of franchise running back potential on Sunday. Look,
Mm-hmm.
he stepped up huge after being asked to be a bell cow back in really poor weather in Tampa Bay. Had 19 attempts, 70 yards rushing, and his first career touchdown. It looked like he would not go down without a fight. It looked like he was going to be tackled for a loss multiple times, and he would just fight for that extra yardage, fall forward. He even converted some pretty critical first downs doing so. That's exactly what this backfield has been missing. That juice, that feistiness. Kellen Moore gave him a lot of credit after the game, saying that he loved his energy, he loved his juice. He's a really productive player, so I expect to see a lot more of Devin Neal. We were talking before the pod about Jeremiah Love, the potential of that in the first round. This performance just makes that not even a possibility in my mind. I don't know why you would do that if you have a guy you're so high in the building, because Devin Neal really showed me a lot this Sunday.
I am all for the Devin Neal propaganda. I think I've been posting it constantly, but it's so nice to see him get his flowers. And ever since the Bears game in October 19th, Devin Neal has received more and more touches every single game. Start out with 1, went up to 3 against the Bucks, 4 against the Rams, 7 against the Panthers, 12 against the Falcons, 17 against the Dolphins, and he got 20 touches in this game. And his yards have gone up every time, 84 scrimmage yards from this game. And you're just seeing what I've been trying to tell people at Kansas. He will not go down on first contact. He will fight for every single yard. And that's translated. He won't blow you away with his speed or anything like that, but he's just a tough runner who gets yards. And that's exactly what the Saints offense is needed. No shade to Kamara or Kendrick Miller because they both are fabulous players. But Devin Neal just brings a different aspect that the Saints haven't had since really Mark Ingram in their roster. Kamara and Kendrick Miller are both these elusive backs who will make a man miss, juke a man, but they won't go. They struggle going between the tackles, just hard downhill and trying to get those tough yards. And that's where Devin Neal can shine. And it's so nice seeing him finally do that. And plus, he's so good for Tyler Shough. Just as a receiver, he's had 11 targets in the past 3 weeks, and he's brought in it's close to 90%. Yep, that's a Devin Neal post. Just a great guy, but he's such a good receiver, and as a pass blocker, he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's extended the plays multiple times by just taking out a free rusher, and that's invaluable for a rookie quarterback. Now I'm going to hand it off to someone else because I can go rambling on about Devin Neal for about a century, but yeah.
My favorite play of the day by a mile from Devin Neal was when he caught it behind the line of scrimmage and then just ran for the first down. Somehow it was on third down, third and long, and I was like, how did you do that? And it was so important for the game. And I mean, again, I think we've all been saying that. I think what was our predictions last week? I think mine.
I think we all just collectively went up
that
more
you
and
would
more.
get a touchdown.
So it happened finally, thank goodness. But let's just shout out Audric Estime too, because he had a really good run also and should have gotten a first down on that third down, which somehow wasn't a first down, which also
I wasn't challenged either.
hold on. Let me defend Kellen Moore here. He didn't see it. I agree, challenge flag should have been thrown, but he didn't see. It was so quick because they were playing hurry up, and he explained that it was so quick that because they were playing hurry up that it didn't show the replay because they just needed to show the field. I don't know why you didn't. I understand catching them by surprise, but my goodness, let the play go. Still, it should have been a first down. I don't know how the linesman did not see that. I thought the NFL implemented a virtual linesman. I'm very confused by that. It should have been a first down. But still, Audric Estime ran well. The blocking was good, as you said, from Devin Neal. And I just can't wait to keep seeing. I did tweet that he can be a franchise running back, so now I'm tied to that. But I do think it happens. Like as you said, I don't think they should draft a running back high. But my goodness, I'm getting into draft talk. But a backfield of Nicholas Singleton and Devin Neal.
So you're still high on Nick Singleton.
That's
a very contentious topic right now. Is Nick
would
Singleton.
save my life. That's
okay, so you're still okay. We'll get into that conversation a lot later, but interesting to see you're still so high on him.
I'll go because I feel like I'm going to be Mr. Pump the Brakes because as much as I have watched Devin Neal and I like him, right? I haven't seen enough from Devin Neal yet to, say, hey, don't go after Jeremiah Love. Don't go after, I think he's a great running back that you can pair with somebody, that Tyler Algier, Brian Robinson type of thing. Because you're 100% right. He does fall forwards every time. One of the things that we haven't really seen from any running back for the Saints that we actually saw from Devin Neal that makes me kind of change my mind a bit is he's had explosive plays. He's had big runs. You haven't seen that from Alvin Kamara. You barely saw it from anybody. And you're getting that from your supposed power back, which, again, I love their connection. Sorry about the dog. He's going crazy with putting up Christmas lights, but he's got a connection with Shough. He's been able to get first downs, and he's played well. He's not been as efficient as I think we would. I don't think he's had a game over the past 3 as well, over 4 yards a carry, which maybe obviously O-line problems as well. But I'd like him to be a little bit more efficient, but more touches that he's getting, he's looking better. And like I said, he's getting bulk yards. He's getting it. He's scrapping for extra yards, everything like that. But I think he's a great running back that you can pair with your other running back, whoever it's going to be.
I mean, talking about the efficiency, I think that's also kind of skewed because the offensive line, I mean, we've had struggles on the interior, but that's a lot of where Neal's been running. You're not giving him a lot of stretches outside of the tackles. You're doing a lot of the hard-nosed stuff. So his averages aren't going to be staggeringly high. But, yeah, I mean, it's still wanted to get up, but I'm not surprised it's a little bit lower.
You're also tossing him pitches on fourth down.
Yeah.
So you can't really blame him for that. I was not sure about that call. I think Kellen Moore's decision-making was very iffy in that game. And you know who saved him is who we're about to talk about next, the Saints defense. Brandon Staley has these guys rolling right now. Over the past month, they're allowing just 18 points a game. They have clearly figured out how to stop those short yardage plays, especially against the Bucs. The Bucs cannot get a first down on 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1 against the Saints defense. That defensive line has really come together this late in the season, and they caused the worst completion percentage by Baker Mayfield in a Bucs uniform. That's big considering that, like I said earlier, Baker Mayfield was an MVP candidate through 7 weeks. So I'm really proud of how this defense has played over the past couple of weeks. Alontae Taylor snagged another interception on he read the route perfectly. Kool-Aid McKinstry, once again, another outstanding game. 7 tackles, a PBU, and another crucial 4th down stop. It seems like we're saying that every week now, where he ends a drive for the opposing team. You saw when I can't remember exactly who was that caught the pass when Kool-Aid just nailed him at the last second to make him drop it. That's a high effort play, high motor play by Kool-Aid McKinstry. His confidence is all the way back now at this point. We've said that it's been building, but after stringing so many performances together, I'm very confident in Kool-Aid McKinstry guarding the opposing team's number 1 wide receiver. And then Carl Granderson, even though he's been in a sack drought, was really good in the run game on Sunday. Had a couple tackles for loss that really helped the Saints in times of need. So everybody's really just playing together right now. They're meshing well. It seems like it just took a while for Brandon Staley to get these guys in a groove, and now that they're one of the hottest defenses in the NFL.
Yeah, shout out Jordan Howden also.
Yep.
Came in and was probably the best tackler that I've seen all season on the Saints. I mean, it felt like every tackle was a secure one, and I was shocked by it because, like, it brings up so many different conversations about Justin Reed, who's a captain of the team. He's super important to the team chemistry, but like that Jordan Howden performance nearly outperformed a lot of Justin Reed's performance this season, in my opinion. And obviously, I have not seen the defensive tape, so I don't know if there was blown coverages on the back end that was just missed or something like that. But that tackling performance was just really good. And Jonas Sinker has also been kind of struggling in that area a little bit in recent weeks because the Saints have really relied on him to be that tackler, and he has struggled. So that was kind of a breath of fresh air. And once again, reminding us that Howden can be something. He never reached that potential, I feel like some of us had. And I know the Eagles play last season was definitely like the play that everyone gave up on him when he ran into the Saints defender and Dallas Goedert went like 70 yards, but he's still having, I mean, this little performance was really nice to see. And I forget who's the other safety.
Terrell Burgess.
We didn't see him a lot.
No, we didn't.
Which was very much a surprise to me, but it does. And I know we could talk about Caleb Downs also in the draft, but it does already with the three safeties that are on the roster. It does feel like if the Saints wanted to move on from Justin Reed, which again, that's a locker room thing. So I don't know if you want to do that, but I think there's an avenue there in the offseason.
And I do want to touch on Jonas Sinker. He has had a couple rough weeks. Had a rough day on Sunday against the Buccaneers. That bad pass interference penalty on 3rd and 11, dropped an interception. The pass interference definitely could have been avoided. Looked like he just hooked that receiver's arm. But I have the utmost confidence in Jonas Sinker. We saw how he started the season. He's a great player. He's a ball hawk. He will get back under his feet. This is a learning experience, and he's still young. I believe he's 22 years old, so there's still time for him there. And I agree with you, Caleb. I was definitely surprised Terrell Burgess did not see as many snaps. Jordan Howden and Terrell Burgess were rotating throughout practice with the ones this past week. And Jordan Howden ended up getting the start. That was not on my bingo card, but he played well. And Pete Werner also played well, had an 84 overall grade from Pro Football Focus. We've been waiting for Danny Stutzman to get his turn, and he's still making plays when he does get his opportunity. But I think it's safe to say this is the best we've seen the Demario Davis-Pete Werner tandem since they've been a duo. They've been playing lights out as of late. Demario Davis still playing like one of the best linebackers in the league. You can't really ask for much more from the Saints defense at this point in the season.
I want to go back to something Nick said about Jonas Sinker, and that's he's a 3rd-round rookie. He's going to have his peaks and valleys. Start of the year, he was playing absolutely outstanding, lights out, and now you're kind of seeing him struggle a bit, but that shouldn't be concerning for really anyone. At the end of the day, he's still a young rookie. He's going to take some time to adjust. He's going to have some bad plays, but what matters is how he bounces back, and I don't really foresee him keeping up this low play and struggling for the rest of the year. He's going to make his plays.
And I'd actually like to shout out somebody who he's not going to come up to the stat sheet and go crazy. He ended the day with 4 tackles. I think it was 3 solo and 1 assisted. But it calls back to something that I said before the season, and I just thought the Saints don't have enough personality on defense a lot of the time. I think Alontae Taylor is that one guy, you get the thumbs down, and then apparently when he got the game ball, everybody's yelling stupid ass. So I wonder what the hell he says whenever he does that, right? But I want to shout out Chris Rumpf, okay?
Yeah.
He is a guy that I think if you go Malcolm Roach type of, anytime he does anything or any play is made, he's going to let everybody on the field know, and it really makes you want to run through a wall every time it happens. You need those guys on defense. I think Isaiah Stallbert's another one that does that as well. But these are guys that just create a personality, really get you amped up, hyped up, and you need that, especially for a team that for the past few weeks have been playing well, but they had that blowout loss to the Rams and things like that. and it wouldn't matter to them. They still celebrate the same way, like they just made the game-winning tackle. But you need that, and you need someone who's going to bring that energy and keep your defensive guys amped up and ready to go. Chris Rump's one of the guys that does that. He's also played pretty well as well. He sets the edge well. He's gotten pressures on the quarterback, so I think he's been playing well. But for me, it's his personality that's been standing out, something that's really elevating the defense just by hyping them up. And that, again, you need that.
Yeah, and I do, like you said, I want to shout out somebody who's not really going to pop up on the stat sheet, and that's two guys actually on the interior of the defensive line, and Nathan Shepard and Brian Brzee. On the season, Nathan Shepard has 20 pressures. Brian Brzee leads the team in pressures with 28. Nathan Shepard had 2 pressures on Sunday against the Buccaneers, and it's clear when Nathan Shepard gets in there, he disrupts the quarterback. He forces them to make mistakes, and I think that's very important. I can't remember which one of you guys said it a couple weeks ago about him being one of the staples of the interior defensive line, even though many people will not view it that way. It's really encouraging to see that, because we've been waiting for a D tackle to come out of the woodworks and be a star. We've been waiting for Brian Brzee to have that breakout season. But at them as a duo, they've been great on the interior for the Saints. And I think Devon Godchaux in the run game has also helped a ton. So I think the interior of the defensive line doesn't get enough credit that they deserve, just based on the fact that the edge rushers are so prominent. Even though the Saints do need to add an edge rusher in the draft, Cam Jordan has had 4 sacks in the past 4 games, turning back the clock. Chase Young, second on the team in pressures with 27, has 6 sacks on the year through 8 games. You can't really ask for much more from those guys. I mean, Carl Granderson, obviously, in that sack drought, you would like to see him produce a little more. But the defensive line has been playing lights out, and I give credit to Bo Davis. He's got those guys playing well.
You do want them to maybe make at least one of those sacks from Sunday, though. They came out of Sunday with sackless, absolutely no sacks, and Baker Mayfield absolutely made them pay for that. They got to finish the plays. We as much as we talked about Tyler Shough doing the same thing, getting off these tackles, making plays with his legs. Our defense needs to make sure that doesn't happen for the opposing quarterbacks coming out of the day sackless when they had so many chances, and especially on third down. It was kind of ridiculous.
And I definitely think that's an area you want to see Brian Brzee improve in. He gets there, but he doesn't. He's kind of like in that Marcus Davenport area where he's always just right there, but never can get that sack. So you'd like to see him get home a little bit more. I definitely agree with you there. Anything else that you guys want to talk about from that game, from the Buccaneers game, before we move on to our trivia segment? All right. Well, I'll let you take it away, Kyle.
All right, this may be too hard. I also thought I did this guy already, but I don't think I did. So if I did, then, double down. But I don't remember naming these teams out before. We're going to go to the Oakland Raiders in 2011, to the New England Patriots in 2011, the Dallas Cowboys from 2012 to 2014, the Buccaneers in 2015, the Bills in 2016. He was on the Saints from 2016 to 2017. The Lions in 2018, and he finished his professional NFL career with the Arizona Hotshots of the AAF in 2019.
You have not done this player before.
No, you have not. Raiders.
You don't need to say that again.
Patriots.
Yep, I'll go back. Let me know. You want me to do it now?
Yeah.
All right. I'll just go Raiders 2011, Patriots 2011, Cowboys 2012 to 2014, Buccaneers in 2015, the Bills in 2016. So it was Bills 2016, Saints 2016, 2017, and then the Lions in 2018 before going to the Hotshots.
This one is difficult.
I can't even think of a position.
I'm trying to think of, but was it Saints to Bucks or Bucks to Saints?
Bucks to Saints, wasn't it? The first read through, all I had in my mind was DJ Swearinger for some reason, because that sounds like one like we could have gone back to.
Swearinger was on the
that's
it's not Swearinger.
Yeah.
Buccaneers, Saints. Was it Saints Bills after the Saints or Lions after the Saints?
Bills,
Lions,
Saints, Lions.
Bills, Saints, Bucks, Bills, Saints, Lions. Interesting.
I have no clue.
Bucks, Bills.
Can you give us position?
It's gonna be so he's a cornerback. It's saying the cornerback, but
Oh,
he definitely would be a defensive back. So cornerback, but he played. I would say played a bit of safety because I actually remember him playing more safety than cornerback. But maybe I'm wrong. I was 14.
yeesh.
Saints Lions.
I think the Bills to Saints here is probably going to be the bigger giveaway here. I don't think the Lions is going to give much. And I could go college if we need to go to college.
You might need that.
Bills Saints. Bucks
I think
Bills.
Jarius
Saints.
Bird. It's not right.
Trying to think of the 2017 roster. You might have me stumped on this one.
He was on the
Maybe.
Jets.
What was the college?
It's not like Ken Crawley because he was on.
No, it's not. Yeah, not Ken Crawley.
I was trying to think of people on that team.
I think Ken
What's the
Crawley
college
did go to
called?
Jets after the college. So he started at Laney College, but he transferred to SMU as a sophomore.
On SMUDB. Okay.
Oh. Why is that name in my head?
He's
Is
currently
his last name like Johnson?
It's not Johnson. He's currently a defensive assistant. I don't know where.
Bucks.
Oh, he was a defensive assistant on the Saints coaching staff in 2022.
Whoa. Hold on now.
It's Sterling Moore. He was on the.
It is, yeah, Sterling Moore.
I was not getting
I
that.
remember that he was an
Never getting that.
assistant coach for the Saints.
Yeah, I was not getting that.
Never getting that.
Maybe Bills to Saints would have been. That was the only place I really would have gotten him. Was Bills to Saints.
What gave it away for me? Nothing else at all. I was stumped. All right, we can turn that into our preview to something that we actually all know about because Sterling Moore definitely was not on top of our minds. So, what are your guys' biggest? What is your biggest matchup that you feel will impact this game, and what do you think the Saints need to do in order to beat the Panthers, who are coming off a bye week right now?
Make Bryce Young throw the ball again. I mean, come on. It's that every time you play the Panthers. It's been right every time you play the Panthers. Make Bryce Young throw the ball. Stop Rico Dowdle. Stop Chuba Hubbard. They did that pretty well last week, and the defense against playing well. Bryce Young has to play against a good, strong defense, and maybe run defense hasn't been as efficient as you want. But they slowed down Rico Dowdle last time they played. He did get a touchdown early on the first drive, but he wasn't much more. He wasn't much more of a threat after that, right? So then now Bryce Young has to throw the ball. He's going to have 6'5" Chase Young chasing him down. Was he 5'9", right? It's like me in the backfield, right? I'm not throwing past Chase Young. So I just make Bryce Young beat you with his arm. And as a Saints fan or as a watching Saints games and watching Bryce Young back there, I haven't seen it. He does it against a lot. He always plays up against, like, he plays well against I think it was Packers. Like, he makes these big time plays, goes off against these other teams. I haven't seen it against the Saints, and they have his number. Just put the pressure on him.
Yeah, and going off of that with Bryce Young, it's been kind of this weird thing this season where he's able to make, like, as you said, the splash throws that are just the long touchdowns. But guess what? Saints have been very good at not allowing that to happen. So if you're stopping those massive plays to happen, stopping the run enough, and making Bryce Young throw, you're causing the perfect storm for something bad to happen to the Panthers offense. So, I mean, yeah, I don't really think there's another, like, important matchup besides that one. Yeah, obviously, in my case, I could say the Tyler Shough against the Panthers pass defense, because that is one. But really, I truly think if the Saints do what they did last time on defense, they're going to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kyle said them both perfectly. Bryce Young, every time the Saints play him, I'm like, why is he starting still? Like, he has never played well against the Saints. Then as time goes on, where I don't watch a lot of Panthers games when the Saints don't play them, he gets built up more and more in my mind. I'm like, oh, he's a good quarterback. Like, you see these big throws, you see the Panthers win, you're like, okay, he can play. and then you get grounded again. It's just this impenetrable cycle that keeps happening. So like right now, I'm like, he's a pretty good quarterback. The Panthers have played pretty well ever since the Saints game. They beat the Rams somehow. Like, I don't get the Panthers at all. They're so confusing. They'll lose to the Saints, beat the Rams. Who knows? But it's just, can you make Bryce Young throw the ball? The Saints have always been able to kind of stifle him. So it's if they can do that again.
And before we move on to it, I just want to say his stats against the Saints over the last 3 games: 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions, and 7 sacks in the last 3 games. He won one of those games, by the way, right? That's his only career win against the Saints.
He's 1-4.
Yep, that's his one career win against the Saints. He didn't throw a touchdown. No, he didn't throw. He threw 2 interceptions. Is that the game he threw 2 interceptions? Yeah, I believe. No, he threw 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But his lone touchdown there, he's taken 7 sacks against him in the last 3 games, 4 interception, and just the 1 touchdown. The Saints have had his number. You know, obviously this organization's very familiar with him. And I just think, again, make him throw the ball again. And if he finally does have that superhero game against the Saints defense, it's probably due eventually. I mean, I think you're satisfied with how you played against him before. He would have to make the correct adjustments at that time to have it different.
And this game, actually, before Nick goes, this game means so much for the Panthers. Like, they cannot drop this game. This is so important for them. The Saints kind of killed the Panthers' momentum, and then we brought them back to life by beating the Bucs. And now we have a chance to put a dagger in their back this time. So this game is so important for them, and the Saints just have nothing to lose right now. The draft pick, sure, Saints are getting a quarterback. It doesn't mean as much. But, I mean, the Saints are just playing with house money right now. They're just trying to have fun, ruin some teams' seasons, and they have the opportunity to do that on Sunday.
And I think there's 2 matchups that I'll be looking out for, and the first one is an if, because as we know, J.C. Horn suffered a concussion after his 2-interception first half against the 49ers on Monday Night Football. They did have a bye week, the Panthers, last week. Dave Cannella said he's trending in the right direction, but we are unsure if he will suit up against the Saints. But if he does, he's got 5 interceptions on the season. Tyler Shough, I believe, has thrown an interception. Has he thrown an interception in every game? He's got 5, I know for sure.
Not against the Panthers.
Not against the Panthers, right. But he does have 5 picks, and J.C. Horn also has 5 interceptions. So I think J.C. Horn would be able to snag one off of Tyler Shough. So that's definitely a matchup I'll be watching. And I'll also be watching Tetairoa McMillan and Jalen Coker against the Saints defensive backs. We've seen some pretty iffy tackling from Alontae Taylor in recent weeks. And McMillan and Coker are playmakers. If you get the ball in their hands, they'll do something with it. So those are 2 matchups that I think are significant when it comes to this game on Sunday. But we'll turn that into our bold predictions and game picks because I think I'm going to be more optimistic than you guys in this one. So I'll let you guys carry it away.
More optimistic than me? Do you know who I think Tyler Shough is? Look, okay, right? Tyler
you're
Shough.
The one that said pump the brakes.
On Devin Neal, all right? Tyler
okay.
Shough, that's it. Tyler Shuck's a difference. Look, he hasn't had a perfect game yet. He had the 2 touchdown, no interception game versus the Panthers last time around. I just want to up it up a little bit, right? We'll say 3 touchdowns. I'm not going to say 4. I want to, but I'm not going to say 4. We'll say 3 passing touchdowns with no interceptions. And you know, I want him to be able to do plays on his legs, right? 30 plus rushing yards on his legs, 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. I want that game from Tyler Shough. We've had good play, right? We haven't had the great play yet. We haven't had the jumping off the box score numbers yet. You know, we still watch the media as they go over the Saints games and they're like, oh, Tyler Shough did all right. Yeah. And, you know, they're not watching the game, so they don't know. Like, Tyler Shough is evading 30 tackles, getting to the end zone. So this is going to be his box score jump out game. I want to see Tyler Shough go ahead, do what he did again against the Panthers, just up it a little bit. 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and also making plays with his legs while keeping possession of the ball, not turning it over. And I want the Saints win again. I love the idea of beating the Panthers, giving the Bucs hope, beating the Bucs, giving the Panthers hope, and go ahead, do it again, and beat the Panthers and ruin their hopes again. So give me 31. Let's finally go over 30 points this season. 31, and I don't see it with Bryce Young, man. 14, 31-14.
Yeah, you were definitely way more optimistic.
Wow. Well, I'm not gonna follow that up with a as
Hold on. Wait,
optimistic.
let me clarify real quick. The Saints get in
Mm,
position to score more than they score easily. They ruin good field position so often that they should have put up 30-point games often this season. They just haven't. So I think this is just one of the cleaner games that the team would play this season. It's in the dome. Tyler Shough is now coming off the momentum of beating the Bucks with his legs. I think right now is the biggest honeymoon phase with Tyler Shough. I think the Superdome is going to be pretty packed for fans who want to watch Tyler Shough, and I just think this is the perfect response to that, is bring more hope to the city, right? I want the Saints to win. I don't care about a draft pick going from, I mean, they have 3 wins right now. What are we, the 5th pick to the 8th pick with a few wins, right? So I don't care too much about a couple positions in the draft pick as much as I do, as someone said earlier, just see Tyler Shough win some games. I just want this to be one of the more clean games for the Saints offense this season. I don't think we've put up 30 points yet, so this would be the game to do it.
Yep. So I'm going to start with my bold predictions. We're going to do a Charlie Smith prediction because I think he's going to bounce back after last week. I think he's going to have 3 field goals in this game. Now I have to, when I pick my score, I have to remember that.
Yeah.
So let's see if that holds true. Then I think Tyler Shough throws 2 touchdowns. I'm not going to go to 3 because I do think that there's going to be 1 longer touchdown and then 1 red zone thrown touchdown. I really don't. I'm so worried about the red zone that that's still a bold prediction that could even happen. And my other bold prediction is Taysom Hill has 0 throws to him and 0 rushing attempts. I think last game was the first time, I think this season, even with all the rushing struggles, that it was like, yeah, Taysom Hill can't be a part of this offense. I mean, he was thrown to twice and dropped both. Yes, rainy day. They weren't fully on target, but they were very catchable balls that probably should have been secured, and it didn't happen. And I don't know if he had a rushing attempt. He might have 1, and everyone got mad about it. But it didn't work. So just go away from it. Just stop it. It's turning into this thing. It's turning into an issue more than a benefit. And then again, remembering all my bold predictions. So let's do the math real quick. Saints win 23-15. I think that's going to be the final score. I really don't expect the Panthers to. I could see them getting a touchdown. I don't think it's going to be as dominant as last time, but yeah, I think Saints win this at least.
Taysom
time for
had
my
2 rushes for -1 yards.
Didn't he fumble one?
We fumbled 1 too.
yeah.
Yes, he did.
He fumbled
Yes,
right
he
off the
did.
tap.
He did, yeah, he fumbled.
Okay, Kyle's going all in on Tyler Shough. Big surprise here, but I'm going all in on Devin Neal. I got to keep going. He is getting 100 rushing yards, 20 receiving yards, and 2 touchdowns this game. You are looking at the next Pepsi Rookie of the Week in Devin Neal. He was nominated this week, didn't win it. That's changing right now. I think should have won it or something like that. But Devin Neal got it this week. I mean, I'm just sticking on that claim. Every week it gets a little bit higher for me. But I'm going to take one for the team here. Even though I do think Devin Neal will score 2 touchdowns, we can't go 4 for 4 on the Saints winning. If we do that, it's not going to happen. So I will go for the Panthers to win.
Did it last week?
Did we?
Yeah.
We went 3 for 3 last week.
You guys
We
all
all-
projected the
All but
Saints to beat the
win,
Bucks?
yeah.
Dude,
I would have.
definitely
I
did.
would have.
I think we went 0 for 3.
Or was
I
it
think
the
we all
week
picked the
before?
Bucks to win.
I think opposite. We went 0 for 3.
Yeah, there's no shot we all picked the Bucks to win.
Maybe it was the other way around. I do know we had that conversation because somebody was like, "No, you got to switch yours. You got to switch yours."
Oh no, I think it was about Devin Neal. I think that's what it
Oh
was.
yeah, we all
I'll do Devin Neal stuff.
we all just went higher and higher every time. But so I'm gonna go Panthers win 21-24 on a 58 last second field goal by Ryan Fitzgerald.
Well, I'm going to get back on the optimistic train. I have Alontae Taylor forcing another turnover. He's really brought the juice past couple of weeks, even though he has been iffy in the tackling, like I said. I have Tyler Shough surpassing the record that he set last week in his rushing yards by a quarterback in franchise history, passing 55 rushing yards on the day. And I also have Charlie Smith hitting a 50-plus yard field goal. He had his first miss of his career last week from 48 yards. It was literally a couple inches off. So it's not like he shanked it like Blake Grupe did multiple
And
times.
raining very hard.
Exactly right. And Kellen Moore said that he's going to start again this week. So I'd love to see him hit that 50-plus yard field goal, bounce back, earn that roster spot, because he will be out of game day elevations after this week. So I do think he bounces back. For my final score prediction, I have the Saints winning 24-7. Bryce Young has just not looked good against the Saints. It seems like they're his kryptonite. Alontae Taylor is a guy who really gets under his skin, which is why I have him forcing that turnover. But yeah, I'll have the Saints winning 24-7. And with that said, I think that wraps up today's episode. So we will catch you guys after the game on Sunday. Hopefully the Saints are able to pull it off. Thank you, Drew, for not jinxing us, and we will catch y'all. Thank you.